This is so cool. I got to share this with you. So, I've been using Claude Desktop, of course, quite a bit for the last few weeks, and I've been building and building and building into what I think is a really effective, at least for me, a really effective AI chief of staff is what I would call it. And today, what happened just kind of blew my mind. Now, I am sharing in another video how I use a software called Recall. And I put the link down below in the comments, I hope. Um, Recall is a way to store everything that I wish I knew, right? And I can put it into a bit of a second brain, but that second brain does not live inside a jar where I need to ask it I need to check into the library and know what to call for, all that sort of thing. I don't have it work that way. What I do instead is I have it informing my tasks, informing my goals, informing my projects, informing the book that I'm writing, all the things that I'm doing. And today it's something really cool. So I have a task that I've been wanting to get to, which is this idea that I came across in a YouTube video that I stored into Recall. I actually didn't watch the video. I just stored it into Recall. And let me share that here. Let me see if I can find a way to move over. All right, so this is where I saved this video into my Recall. It's a video just about how this Eve Buffard, please apologies if the description's not good, where she talked about her thinking in public experiment. And I never watched the video, I just sort of read through the summary and I thought, hey, this sounds like an interesting idea. And what I did was once I saved it into Recall, at the end of my day or at some point during the day, I had told Claude, hey, look at this card in Recall because I connect to it via MCP. And I said, could you create a task out of this idea of thinking in public? That was it. And that was weeks ago. Now, let me show you what happened today. So this is what happened today, and this is super cool. So I just asked my Claude, could you help me think through this idea of the thinking in public that came out of this YouTube video? And it did the coolest thing. First, it looked at my use case, how I could apply it, that sort of thing. But the really, really awesome thing is that I already have this end of day process where where I'm saving all these cards into Recall. And what it did was or what it does, and it has been doing for weeks, is it quizzes me on this information. So hopefully some of it sinks in. It also then just ties all of those Recall cards to all my current tasks, my projects, my goals, the book I'm writing, so on and so forth. And it highlights things and ties them to the markdown files that are associated with those things or those tasks and so on and so forth. Really, really cool stuff. But then here, what it did was it said, hey, look, you already have this learned process, right? This learned skill that happens every day at the end of every day. But don't build something new with this idea of thinking in public. Instead, what you can do is just add one more filter, right? And then ask which of these connects to something an executive prospect would find useful or provocative enough to stop scrolling for. So what it's saying is anything that I'm saving into my Recall that might make for a really interesting thing to share on social media because it ties into the things that I want to message to the executives that I want to help with the work that I do. Well, it's going to now automatically tie those things to posts that I can do. So it's like this, it's like that second brain, but only instead of a second brain that sits inside a jar and you need to go and ask it for things. Instead, this is just another way that AI and Claude is going to use this second brain to actually tie it into something really useful that I can do all the time. I love this. I'm just so in love with this. I thought this was really cool. And maybe you're not as excited about it as I am, but it's just a really cool way of taking it's sort of like it's doing multiple things at once. First, it's taking something that I saved as an idea that I didn't even review, just something that I thought that might be of interest. And then when I asked my second brain and my AI to think through that idea, it tied it to something that I can now use in the same sort of way, but automatically for another project that I'm trying to do. It's really, really cool. And I find it using Claude plus Recall keeps on doing things like this for me, where it is doing things like I saved some information on doing evals for skills, for example, and I was able to take the automatic skill generator thing that I'm doing inside Claude, where it is constantly reviewing all the things I'm doing. It's looking for things that I do multiple times, maybe a day, maybe a week, that it can easily turn into a skill. And now what it's doing is it's because of that information that I saved into my second brain on the idea of evals, it's now built an eval system for those skills where it's reviewing those skills and saying, are they still being used? Are they doing what they're supposed to be doing? How does this tie to other markdown files? So that way it's not disturbing anything in the work that it does, and so on and so forth. It really, really cool stuff. So I wanted to share that. I think it's really cool. I keep on raving about Recall and how much I think it's doing really good things for me and what I'm trying to do. Highly recommend it. Again, I'm going to put the link to it down below. But when you tie it to Claude and via MCP, it's just got mega powers. It's just mega powers. I used to talk about how using an AI is a lot like having an intern. You know, you have to like tell it multiple times, cajole it. You got to phrase what you want to do exactly right every single time, and it'll do things. But like it can be reliable when you got the right intern, but you really got to word things the right way. But now it's like it's on another level. This isn't an intern, right? This is like I don't know what this is, but it's super powerful, super cool. Anyway, if you have any questions about it, I'm probably going to be raving about this don't invite me to your dinner party anytime soon, because this is all I'm going to want to talk about. So yeah, feel free to hit me up in the chat. I'm on LinkedIn, Mr. Paul Phelps. You can find me at productivityengines.com. Oh, and remember, I've got webinars where I'm walking through and talking through things for executives all the time, how to build AI systems that will automate and do some really, really cool stuff for your business, either helping you save money or even more effectively, hopefully, and pretty effectively, we're able to find ways to increase revenue in a way you just wouldn't believe. And so how I get excited about stuff like this, imagine me getting excited about your business and something I can build for that. So yeah, I'm doing webinars about that all the time. So you can just register. I'll put a link to the registration for that down below as well. All right, see you next time.